And hey, we are glad you are with us. Thanks for tuning in. You can catch this show on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, live 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time weekdays. For David Chandler up there in Colorado, that would be 8 a.m. Mountain Time Zone, but then available archived as well on those platforms. And great to be with you on this Wednesday morning. Garrett Ross is alongside, Brandon McGinnis producing behind the scenes, and appreciate those guys. And here's what we have coming up in the hour today. We're going to visit with our good friend Pat Nunley, a Baylor Athletics Hall of Famer, talk Baylor basketball. And we recognized Pat at the game last night, the Baylor-Arizona game last night. And we'll talk about that. It was really fun to put together and do and recognize him. So we'll visit with Pat coming up in a few minutes. And then later in the hour, our regular weekly visit with Baylor insider Jerry Hill, the professor. So that's coming up in the hour. Let's start with Baylor and Arizona, Big 12 men's basketball from last night. Oh, man, what an effort by the Bears. What a great effort by this team playing against the number 2 team in the nation, the team that is leading the Big 12, Arizona, alone in first place in the league. Baylor led the game for, and this is such a stat that doesn't matter, but Baylor led the game for 23 minutes and 5 seconds. Arizona led for 11 minutes, 54 seconds, but Arizona led at the end. I know that's the only thing that matters. But that shows that Baylor did some really good things last night against a really good Arizona team. They're big, they're burly, their strength is inside. They don't even care much about shooting threes. And so Baylor's game plan was to pack it inside, force them outside. Every time their big guy Krivas, big 7'2", 260-pound postman, whenever he touched the ball, Baylor would double him. And then he did a good job passing it out of there. But the thing that Arizona did, and give them credit, is they hit the threes. When they were forced to shoot threes, they hit them last night. For example, Jaden Bradley is their senior guard. He scored 25 points, their leading scorer. The 2 guards for Arizona, Bradley and Burries, combined for 49 points. 25 by Bradley, 24 by Burries. And Bradley was 5 of 8 from three-point range in the game last night. This is a guy that was shooting 23% from 3 coming into the game. And again, give him credit. They needed threes last night, and he delivered 5 of 8. Overall, Arizona was 9 of 21 shooting threes in the game last night. Really clean game for the Bears. Only 5 turnovers total, only 7 turnovers by Arizona in the game. 12 assists, 5 turnovers by Baylor. That's usually a winning number right there. But it didn't come that way last night. Baylor shot exceedingly well in the first half, 53.6% in the first half. Cooled off a little bit, not much, 45% in the second half. So to shoot 49% against an Arizona team that's number 1 in the Big 12 in field goal percentage and field goal percentage defense, you can see that Baylor had a good night really on both ends of the floor. For the Bears in the game last night, 26 by Cameron Carr, and really a pretty efficient 26, 11 of 19. He was just 2 of 7 from three-point range, but he had a couple of big threes, had a couple of big dunks in the game, and that really brought the crowd into it. And the crowd was great last night. I mean, this was an 8 o'clock game, 8 o'clock tip-off on a Tuesday night, and sometimes that's a tough sell to get people there. A lot of people come, not a lot, some people come to the games from Houston or Dallas or Austin and ask them to come for an 8 p.m. tip-off. That's tough sometimes. But, man, they were there and they were into it, and the students were into it, and it was about as loud during some portions of the game last night as it's been all season. And that's a great pat on the back to the crowd for doing their part for the game last night. The turnovers, we mentioned only 5 by Baylor, only 7 by Arizona. Points in the paint was interesting with this post presence, inside presence by Arizona. They averaged 44 points per game in the paint. And Baylor had 40, and Arizona had 36 last night. So the Bears had more paint points than Arizona did in the game. The big thing, and this is what Coach Drew mentioned to us post-game, was second chance points. And this was offensive rebound. Another thing that Arizona just kills everybody on is rebounding. They've only been out-rebounded one game all year, and that was their game against Houston last Saturday, and they won that. Houston's the only team to out-rebound Arizona all year, and that's still the case. They out-rebounded Baylor 37-30 overall, but it was 13-9 on the offensive glass, and there were just some key offensive rebounds in the second half when the Wildcats were making their comeback that were just killers for Baylor. I can remember one offensive rebound by Ivan Karchinkov, and then he kicked it out, and I think Bradley hit a 3 after that. And that was after a missed free throw. And so that was just a killer at a stretch when Arizona really heated up in the second half. They shot 54.5% in the second half, 49% for the game. Arizona scored 53 points in the second half of the game. Baylor led by 7 at halftime, 41-34. First bucket of the second half of 3, so 10-point lead was the largest of the night for Baylor. And then here come the Wildcats, and you knew it was coming, a team that good. And sure enough, they outscored Baylor 53-39 in the second half. Winning it 87-80 was the final score from the game last night. But tough, disappointing, no moral victories at all for Coach Drew or for the Bears. But they continued to show their improvement overall and against really good teams and really good competition. And now just 3 games left in the regular season. We'll go to UCF to play the Knights coming up on Saturday evening. Go down to Houston a week from tonight and play the Cougars there, and then close against Utah a week from Saturday in Foster Pavilion on Senior Day. So that's the Baylor-Arizona game from last night. Arizona, with the win, is now 26-2 on the year. They are 13-2 in Big 12 conference play, and they remain alone in first place in the league standings. Looking for David Waxman's release from last night, giving all the other scores. And Wax is so good. He's up late. Like the late game I listened to driving home, Garrett, was BYU and UCF. I think they tipped off about the time we finished.
No way. No way. That had to have been in Provo. That's
it
ridiculous.
Was. It definitely was. Yeah, it definitely was in Provo. So, well, I'm sorry, I can't find it from Wax, but and that was a game UCF was all over BYU in Provo, all over them.
That's so weird, like, to see, but this also shows like the depth of the Big 12, that you can't take anybody for granted. BYU is a hostile place to go in and play, but I think that Dawkins has done a really good job of building UCF's program. I'm interested to see what he can do with them, but for them to be competitive the way they are in the Big 12 when they're not known as a basketball program is remarkable to what he's been able to do.
Yeah, very much so. Really good. I think they're an NCAA team.
They're salty.
Yeah. No, I think they're an NCAA team right now. And that's the next challenge for Baylor, going to Orlando. Not the best, not the most intimidating atmosphere in the league, but still a tough trip. And that's what's next for the Bears on Saturday evening. I'll look up those other scores from last night, but Baylor falling to Arizona last night, 87-80 in Foster Pavilion. Thanks again to the crowd that was there. And a fun part we did on our broadcast last night was we recognized Pat Nunley. This is his 45th year doing the Baylor broadcast. So he stepped off the court after a stellar playing career, stepped off the court and right onto broadcast row and began doing Baylor broadcasts in his first year of law school at Baylor, and has continued now for 45 years. And what he kept saying last night, so we had we made a presentation to him. David Kay made the presentation at halftime. And then throughout the course of the broadcast, we had other guys around the league and his friends recorded messages for Pat. And we dropped those in the broadcast, which was really fun. And he really enjoyed it and appreciated it. And I don't want to speak for him. Pat will join us next. But what he kept saying was, it doesn't seem like 45 years.
Oh, that's a wild thing. Yeah, there's no way it could seem like that.
Right. So you can understand that. And he's so good at what he does, and he enjoys it so much, and he's the perfect Baylor guy. So it was fun to recognize him at the game. So
the scores from last night, J-Bo,
okay,
you had Cincinnati at Texas Tech. Tech won that one 80-68.
Okay.
And then you had West Virginia going to Oklahoma State. The Pokes won that one 91-84.
Okay.
TCU defeated Arizona State 90-78. That one was in Fort Worth.
Yep.
Iowa State defeated Utah and Salt Lake 75-59. And then the UCF BYU game that we were talking about, the Knights won 97-84.
Good grief. And that got close.
Yeah.
97-84. So they won by 13. But at one point, they led by, I know, as much as 36 in that game over BYU. Isn't that wild?
Crazy.
I know, in Provo.
Even without Ricky Sanders, you wouldn't think that would be that's crazy.
I know, exactly, playing at home. I was listening to the UCF broadcast, Mark Daniels driving home, and it was quiet. That Marriott Center was quiet. At that point, they were up by 31 and then 33 and then 36. So huge win for UCF on the road. All right, thanks for that, Garrett. Appreciate it. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Hall of Famer, Pat Nunley, Baylor Athletics Hall of Famer, broadcast partner on Baylor Basketball. We'll visit with him about the game last night and the recognition for Pat for 45 years, 45 and 45 and counting, let's say. We want him to continue on and keep going for many years. But we'll visit with Pat coming up. John Morris Show brought to you in part by the Brazos Landing and Alliance Bank. Great things going on at the Brazos Landing. Enjoy the quiet atmosphere of the Brazos Landing's French Quarter with its beautiful river views. Open Tuesday through Sunday, lunch and dinner. Remember the $12 lunch specials like prime rib chicken fried steak, bourbon maple glazed bacon BLT, red beans and rice, and much more on that $12 menu. $12 lunch menu, delicious dishes, Brazos Landing in Waco, where I-35 and the Brazos River meet. We're back right after this. Alliance Bank Central Texas understands that banking is about people. From first accounts to business growth, they actively partner with Central Texas businesses and families to help meet their financial goals. A variety of online products and services make banking easy without compromising the personalized banking experiences they are known for. Customer-focused banking isn't just what they do, it's who they are. Alliance Bank Central Texas, serving Central Texas across 7 convenient locations and at alliancebanktexas.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
At DeCampli's Italian Ristorante, we are committed to providing an authentic Italian experience. Through exceptional service, delicious food, and a family environment, we want our guests to create memories that they will want to share with their family and friends. Open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, closed on Sundays. Make your reservation today. Check us out on Facebook and at decampleys.com.
My name is David Maddox, owner of Waco Foundation Repair. I've been in business right at 20 years, incorporated since 2003, and nonstop, very busy business to be in. We stay plenty busy with this good old Central Texas ground that constantly moves and does its thing. If you think you have foundation repair issues, call Waco Foundation Repair today.
Spring has sprung, and now's a great time to schedule a checkup for your vehicle. As Texas weather changes, it's important to make sure you and your loved ones are safe on the road. Request an appointment online at CompleteCarCareCenter.com today. We're equipped to handle all major and minor repairs on your vehicle. Our experienced technicians can check the health of your tires and inspect your vehicle for any unseen issues. Kish Complete Car Care Center at 5300 Franklin, where we take pride in keeping individuals safe, honestly.
And back with us, John Morris Show on a Wednesday, brought to you by the Brazos Landing and Alliance Bank. You know, Alliance Bank Central Texas is your Central Texas business bank, voted by Forbes 2025 Best in State Banks. Alliance Bank Central Texas values their relationships with their customers and their communities. They have 7 locations across Central Texas, on the web at alliancebanktexas.com. All right, as promised, welcome in Baylor Athletics Hall of Famer Pat Nunley, my broadcast partner on the Baylor broadcast. And good morning to you, as if we didn't spend enough time together last night. Here we are getting together the day after the game. And what a great effort by Baylor against a really good team in Arizona.
Yeah, and I thought, looking back at that game, John, we had chances to win, but you're talking about this number 2 ranked team in the country who is surging. They're 25-2, and they're just at that level. They know how to win games. They know how to close out games. And I thought, with a minute and a half to play, they made the plays that they had to make to win a tough game on the road. And they get credit for that.
Yeah, and Baylor did so many good things, 12-5 assist to turnover ratio. Baylor led the game 23-plus minutes last night. It never really had it in control, but had the lead, and then there was that late surge. Really, the whole second half was really impressive by Arizona.
Yeah, and that's why they're so good. I mean, they got a great chance, I think, to win a national championship. But what I loved about Baylor's effort was typically the scenario has been play them tough, and there's a point midway through the second half in a game like that where a team like Arizona can just separate and go to double digits. Right. And they never did that, and Baylor did not let them do that. We said a couple of times during the broadcast, they had to answer because you knew Arizona was going to make runs. Every time they made a run, the Bears answered and got themselves in a position with 5 minutes to play. I think the game was tied. And so now we're at 5 to grind, and it was just a matter of who could make plays. And I thought really, John, it was whether or not Baylor could get the stops they needed to get when it was winning time. And they just weren't able to do that. A couple of offensive rebounds for Arizona at key times in the game, late in the game, that resulted in extra points. There was a missed free throw that I think resulted in a kick-out 3 for Arizona. And that just created enough separation for the Wildcats to go on and win. It's just those little plays are big plays, but at the end of a game, when you got to make a play to win, Arizona just made more than Baylor did.
Yeah, that's the same thing I mentioned earlier was that missed free throw. Karchinkov got the offensive rebound, kick out 3, and it was like deflating, wasn't it, at that point?
Yeah, and give Arizona credit. I mean, they were long, they're strong. I mean, they're built like a national championship team, and we know what that looks like. And not only are they big and strong and long, they're skilled. And they're, again, just their mindset of, okay, now it's winning time. And we're going to do what we do that's got us to 25-2. And they did it.
Yeah. And they didn't have Koa Pete last night either. One of the freshmen in this league, one of their top players, really. He was out. He missed his 3rd consecutive game. 10 ties, 14 lead changes in the game. I'm not sure we mentioned that in postgame, but that shows how Baylor was right there the whole night. And actually, Arizona's biggest lead of the night was the final margin of 7 points.
Yeah, and that got a little bit skewed too because we had to foul, get them to the free throw line. And again, Arizona gets credit for making free throws. They did. They made every free throw they had to make to create that final margin. But you're right. I think 7-point spread at the end of the game really doesn't tell the story. It was closer than that.
Yeah, that's true. Good night for Cam Carr, scoring 26 points. Also 16 by Isaac Williams. Isaac has really been coming on lately, hadn't he?
Yeah, and he scored about his average over the last 5 games. And John, you and I have talked about this a lot. We saw him last July in Germany at the World University Games, and you could see the potential there, but he was pretty raw. But great athlete. Charlie Melton, the strength and conditioning coach, has said pound for pound, he's the strongest player on the team. So there was an awful lot to work with. And I think about 5 games ago, you just saw a light come on with him. And right now we're getting a glimpse of what he can become. I mean, 5 assists, 0 turnovers against one of the top 3 defensive teams in the country.
Yeah.
A really good night.
Yeah. Rebounding was a factor. Arizona just beats everybody in rebounding and points in the paint with all those big guys. They usually dominate there, but Baylor actually had more points in the paint last night than Arizona.
Yeah, that's crazy because that just doesn't happen. In fact, we said during the broadcast, Arizona number 3 in the country in points in the paint per game on average.
Yeah.
And the Bears outscored them by I think 6 in the paint. And that's just not been a Baylor strength. But we said again coming in, Baylor needed better shots. They had not been shooting well because their shot selection was so bad. Well, they got a lot of points in the paint, and it wasn't like, we're feeding into the low post. It's guys getting into the lane and finishing at the rim. And when Baylor does that, that's Baylor offense at its very best. And they put a lot of points on a team that can really defend. A team, by the way, that in Arizona's last game against Houston held Houston scoreless in the second half for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Doesn't sound possible.
No.
Another guy who you mentioned post-game had a kind of a quiet but effective game was Michael Ratai. He had 7 points and 7 rebounds in the game last night.
Yeah, he did. It was good to see him come on too. Baylor can't get where it aspired to be without Michael Ratai really producing. And I think it's taken him a long time to figure out really what his role on this team is. We thought when Najee came in, thought that he was a little further along than he really is. That would allow Ratai to play a more natural position for him. That didn't happen. And so I think he's played a lot out of position. He's not a 3-point shooter. He's really more of a distributor. He's almost a point forward, if you think about it. He's a good passer. And so last night, he, I think, found his groove. And that's the second game in a row that he's played really well. And he has to for the Bears to get, again, if they're going to put a little run together, Ratai is really critical to that.
Yeah. So 3 games left in the regular season at UCF, at Houston, home against Utah are the 3 games left. Mm-hmm. An effort like that last night, and Baylor's going to have a chance in all 3 games. Houston's going to be tough. And you saw what UCF did last night, right? They pounded BYU.
Yeah. I didn't care who won that game. All I saw, though, was our next opponent was roughing up BYU in Provo.
That's right.
I thought, and we've got to go down there. Yeah. But if we're going to go beat a really good team on the road, now's the time to do it. Because I think these last 2 games, even though last night ended in a loss, this team has found a bit of a groove. They played really well against Arizona State. I thought they played really well last night. So got to go to UCF with both barrels loaded, and hopefully that's where this team is.
Yeah, which is a real credit to these coaches and these players. I mean, they didn't throw in the towel. They're playing really their best basketball right now, and that's great to see.
It is, and that's a credit to the coaching staff because you get in a ditch, and the Big 12 can throw you in a ditch. I mean, you can play pretty well against a lot of teams and not have anything to show for it. Last night's a great example of that. But the coaching staff's ability to keep their heads up, keep them playing hard, keep them optimistic. Cameron Carr's interview last night with us, John, after the game just kind of personified that. they are ready for the next game. And that's hard to do when you're now 4-11 in the league. And I think picked, 5th or 6th in the league when it started, which was probably not an educated prediction because new roster and all of that.
Right.
But just to get those guys playing as hard as they played last circumstances is not.
All right. May have lost Pat there. Sorry about that. See if we can get him back. Love to get his thoughts on all the extras with the game last night and the broadcast and recognizing him for his 45 years. That was really fun to do. And again, this is just, you got us now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Good deal.
Okay,
Just off the court, it sure was fun to drop in those messages from so many guys during the game last night, recognizing you were 45 years.
Well, so I come home from the game, and I'm a little wound up about the game. And I replayed, you sent me those audio clips. I replayed every one of them. And I was up till probably 1 o'clock in the morning just doing that. And it just was so heartwarming. And, you know, at this stage of the game, that stuff, I mean, it always does, but at my age, our age, that stuff really matters to me. I never really thought about 45 years. I don't think about that until I'm hearing from others. And I had a lot of really just encouraging comments at the game, after the game, a lot of text after the game. And then it hit me. It hit me really about midway through the game. But after the game, I had to stop and just get quiet and think about all that. It was really nice.
That's great. Well, it was sure fun to do. It was really good. You deserve it. You deserve everything good that comes your way. And speaking of age, happy birthday to you.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. You know, my grandson asked me how old I was going to be today. And I did. Yep. There we go. 6'7", and he loved it. He thought that was so. I'm hip now at 67. I'm still hip.
That's good. That 6'7" can be hip. Well, happy birthday! Loved it last night, and we'll hit the road to Orlando coming up later this week. Thanks for your time this morning.
Yeah, John, and thank you for everything you did last night to put that together. You guys are way too good to me, but I'll take it. Thanks.
It was cool. It was very fun. Appreciate it. Love you. We'll see you soon.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Pat Nunley, Baylor broadcast legend, Hall of Famer, and recognized him at the game last night in his 45th year doing Baylor basketball broadcast. And it was really fun. And it's great, Garrett, you can tell by his voice how much it meant to him, too.
Oh, it meant the world to him.
That made it fun.
That was like, I don't know whose idea that was, if that was yours or whoever, but that was well played out. And you could tell it meant a lot and meant the world to him. And for the timing with that right before his birthday, that was remarkable. That?
Yeah.
Absolutely remarkable.
Very good. And happy birthday to Pat. It's a big birthday day. We'll have some more coming up later. Thanks to Pat Nunley. Let's take a break. When we come back, our good friend, and we hope yours, Jerry Hill joins us, Baylor Insider, after a break. John Morris Show on a Wednesday continues after this.
If I'm only wearing one suit this summer, it has to be Tuileries Performance Linen. It's wrinkle resistant, machine washable, and built with stretch and breathability that actually moves with you. It'll keep you cool, sharp, and stress-free at your next event.
Some of the best foods that you can eat are very simple foods. So we selected very lean proteins and put them on the best trajectory, the best plane to live a healthy life.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
Introducing Bark in the Belly Premium Dog Food. 100% of profits go to help dogs in need.
minibidets.com, where we sell mini bidets, not mini bidets.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Finance is evolving. Automation, data analytics, and AI are reshaping what finance teams do every single day. The best way to predict the future of finance is to be ready for it. If you want a head start, check out 365 Financial Analyst.
It's the President's Day sales event at Ellen Samuels, and we're making history. Right now, your choice, a brand new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Sahara or Gladiator Sport, $10,000 off MSRP. Or step up to adventure with the 2025 Gladiator Rubicon or Mojave, $13,000 off MSRP. Plus, drive home a new 2026 Jeep Compass Latitude for $29,890. Big capability, big savings, limited time. Shop us in Waco or online at allensamuelsdcj.com.
Alliance Bank Central Texas understands that banking is about people, from first accounts to business growth. They actively partner with Central Texas businesses and families to help meet their financial goals. A variety of online products and services make banking easy without compromising the personalized banking experiences they are known for. Customer-focused banking isn't just what they do, it's who they are. Alliance Bank Central Texas, serving Central Texas across 7 convenient locations and at alliancebanktexas.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. Back with us, John Morris Show on a Wednesday. Appreciate Pat Nunley joining us last segment. We are brought to you every day by the Brazos Landing and Alliance Bank. Thanks to them. We're also brought to you by Waco Foundation Repair, locally owned and operated. Waco Foundation Repair believes in one principle: one family helping another. They provide a full range of foundation repairs. They don't just do the job, they do it right. WacoFoundationRepair.com. And brought to you by Kish's Complete Car Care Center. We were there for a live show last week. Family-owned and operated, Kish's Complete Car Care in Waco has been serving Waco drivers since 1998. Voted #1 auto shop year after year, located at 5300 Franklin Avenue in Waco. They're open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Give them a call now for your next repair. That is Kish's Complete Car Care Center. All right, trying to connect with Jerry Hill, and as we await him, I'm sure we may have to roust him out a little bit this morning, but we'll wait a minute and see if we can get with Jerry. But again, thinking about Pat and his career in broadcasting, he worked with the legendary Frank Fallon for 14 years. And then with me for 31 years. There's where the 45 comes from. But Frank, I remember saying, him telling us, you know, when Pat finished his playing career, he didn't have any broadcasting experience at all. And Frank just knew, he was very intuitive. He just knew that Pat would do a good job, and he was just a natural, and he stepped in, and he was very good at it from day one. And one of the cool things that Pat has from Frank is he asked him when he started, he said, hey, would you just give me a list, just kind of write down some things that I need to keep in mind, be aware of over the course of a broadcast. And Frank gave him this list, and I don't know how many are on there, 15 or 20 different things on this list on a piece of notebook paper. And through the years, that has in Pat and my minds has become like the holy grail of broadcasting, Frank Fallon's handwriting and these things to keep in mind. I'll find the list and I'll share some of those with you at some point. But it's really cool to think that was, Frank bringing Pat into the broadcast world and, writing those things down for him. And Pat is as good as they come. I mean, Pat could be doing like Sean Farnham did the ESPN game last night. He's really good. Pat could do just as well. I mean, if he chose to be a national broadcaster, he could do it today. And but fortunate for us and Baylor fans, he has stayed at Baylor for these 45 years. So that's to our benefit to have learned and been able to hear from Pat Nunley for all these years. So great to recognize him at the game last night, and great to have him on with us today on his birthday. So a big birthday day. How about this? A bit ironic, Garrett. Today is Pat Nunley's birthday. Today is Lori Fogelman's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Who does color on the women's broadcast. Same birthday for those two.
And they're both elite at what they do.
Yeah, very
it's
much
remarkable.
So. Very much so. So it is Lori Fogelman's birthday today as well. All right, I think we have Jerry with us now. Did we wake you up? I'm sorry. Are we bothering you here on a Wednesday morning? You okay?
I was working on other stuff. Can I just say that?
Yeah, sure. That's fair.
Let's go with that.
I like that story. Well, thanks for a little bit of time.
Absolutely.
And let's start with last night. What a great effort by Baylor Basketball, though they came up just short against second-ranked Arizona.
Yeah, John, I thought it was a great game, great atmosphere. Obviously U of A brings a lot of people, and that to me just almost kind of added to it. It was one of those where, and I guess I was a negative Nelly. I did not go in with a lot of expectations, but the way that Baylor just hung around and really even, early on, kind of took control. But I think depth is always going to be an issue with this team, and that's why it's hard to finish. But I was very encouraged by that game in the sense that I feel like if you play like that, if you get that kind of effort and just production, I think you can play with just about anybody. That was the number 2 team in the country.
Exactly. Yeah. Playing great and on a roll. So do you feel like Baylor got worn down a little bit in the second half?
I think it was a little bit of that. And then, like I said, Arizona is just really good. And I think they kind of locked in that second half. I'm trying to remember, John, how many points they scored. 34.
Second half.
53.
Yeah,
53 points in that second half. And they just, that's what it came down to there at the end was Baylor just could not get a defensive stop. It was one of those, I think, I can't remember if Zach Smith gave me this note or who, but it was like a 13 and a half minute stretch where it literally was a one possession game, for that whole time.
Wow.
So I think that was the deal there at the end. And maybe they did get worn down, but I think it was just you could not come up with a defensive stop. Arizona hit how many? And then, a couple of big offensive rebounds, particularly off of free throws. You can't have those. So I think that was the difference down the stretch is, Arizona, again, little larger roster, more rotation. And I think that was the difference there at the end.
Yeah. Well, great effort. And the men go to UCF to play this Saturday. How about the women? Couple of big wins back-to-back over Arizona on Saturday and turn around and beat K-State on Monday. And still a chance at a Big 12 championship with one game to play.
Yeah, it's not exactly how you would draw it up because you'd like to be playing for an outright, on Sunday. But I think the fact that you still, have it in your hand to get at least a share of a conference championship. Maybe you get, I don't expect, Cincinnati to beat TCU, but, it could happen. But at the very least on Sunday, you're playing for a share of a conference championship. And certainly at the beginning of the season, that's what you wanted. And, it comes down to, great scheduling by the Big 12 for it to come down to this, very last game and to decide, who wins it all. So I do think, John, that Monday game was big because, it was a quick turnaround. And I thought they had played well against Arizona, but I thought they played really well Monday against K-State and kind of showed what they're capable of. And I think that's got to give them some confidence going in to that Sunday game. And again, they get some rest, this late in the season to have a few extra days. I know Nikki said she was going to give them a couple of days off. So I think that's big, to have that kind of rest and then, hopefully come out and play really well Sunday. They've played well on the road at times. So it's going to be interesting. I think they'll come out and play really well.
I do too. TCU's kind of had their number lately. Right. I think they've won 4 straight. Going back to this same game last year, remember they played on the last day of the regular season, winners, Big 12 champs.
Yeah,
TCU won it in Waco. So maybe Baylor can turn the tables up in Fort Worth on Sunday.
Well, and ZBR, who Zach. He told me that his equestrian team is the only team to beat TCU this year. So he was very proud of that win. So
well, that means the other sports haven't done that well.
That is right. Yeah.
Good point. That was a big win for equestrian last Saturday, wasn't it? They beat.
It really was, John. Senior day and just they really needed something like that to at least give themselves a chance here late and. If they can go out to California and get a couple of wins and then, do well, maybe get to the Big 12 championship, at the Big 12 tournament. So I think they, kind of left themselves in a position where they can get, to the national meet. So that would be huge. And yeah, they just needed that. They had competed well against some of those top teams, just hadn't been able to win one. And I think to beat a good TCU team here, it was a great lift for that program.
Yeah. How about acrobatics and tumbling? Best program in the world. They showed that again. They had a win over UMHB, and they've got Oregon coming in this Saturday.
Yeah, John, that's really kind of the one, that most people, at least outside of the program, that's what they look for. And I think Baylor too, certainly, Oregon. But I think just that's the one team that you think of that, hey, if anybody's going to have a chance to beat them, I don't think anybody does, but, that's one that, a lot of attention is garnered for that one, and here home meet against Oregon, that's going to be huge. And I don't remember, John, you may have that number, but it's, 50 something in a row that they've won. So
yeah, 53
in a row. And Oregon, I believe this is right, John, they're the only team that has beaten Fee since she's been at Baylor. And that was twice, I think. So unbelievable streak that she's had here at Baylor. And let's just keep it going.
Yeah. That'll be 5:00 on Saturday, Baylor, Oregon, acrobatics and tumbling. And make note, admission is free. I'd said for people who haven't been to an A&T meet and you want to see what it's like and want to see 2 really good programs, great opportunity on Saturday. How about your women's golf team? They've had a good week.
Yeah, this was a good week for them. I think they wish they could have finished a little bit stronger. This was at the Chevron Collegiate down at Golf Club of Houston. The women finished 3rd overall. That was a field that had I believe it was 5 top 20 teams, and there were 17 teams in the field, and every one of them were ranked in the top 100. So you got some really good, significant wins there. I think Arkansas was number 6 going in, and they beat them. So a really good finish for them. And Milena Castro, she had a great finish. She shot 5 under, bogey free, 5 under 67 on the final round, and she finished career best, tied for 2nd. So great tournament for her. And I know Jay said when they get it all together, when everybody's playing really well, this team, I think the way he phrased it was, we should be lapping people, to kind of add the track term therein. But he sees this as a really, really good team. And I think he's right. I mean, and I think he's kind of locked in on his 5 now. They turn right around and play in Vegas Monday and Tuesday. So I think he said he was going to probably take this same 5 there. But yeah, they turn right around and play Monday and Tuesday at the UNLV Invitational.
Nice. Speaking of track, Baylor to Lubbock, back to Lubbock, third time here in the indoor season for the Big 12 indoors. We had some interviews yesterday, and I tell you, Tyria Kelly, who leads as a national leading time in the 200, she's just she's delightful. She was fun to visit with. Got a bubbly personality.
Yeah.
And a really fast runner also.
She's really fast, and she's had, basically her best 2 races have been on that same track, the Sports Performance Center there at Texas Tech. So she's familiar with the track, obviously. Like you said, this is their 3rd time there this season. I believe Coach Ford said it was the 7th consecutive year that Tech has hosted the Big 12 championship. So, pretty much everybody's familiar with it, but certainly Baylor is, having gone out there now 2 previous times. But yeah, Tyria, man, unbelievable athlete, great runner. She's so good in the 200, but I know she talked about her goal is to make the 60-meter finals as well, score there, and then she's scheduled to be in the 4x4 as well, so she could have a really busy couple of days there in Lubbock. And Baylor has some other ones positioned to make the NCAA indoor, but could do some good work this week if they can get some more qualified. But Molly Haywood certainly in the pole vault. Mario Prince is in good shape in the 60-meter hurdles. He needs to probably lower his time a little bit. I think he was 15th going in, or 15th this week. So top 16 go to NCAA indoor. So he probably maybe needs to lower his time a little bit. And I know the men's 4x4 would like to get in there as well. They've got to lower their time, but hopefully some great performances this week, John. And Janae DeGans is another one. She's in the long jump. I know Coach Ford said she has a good chance to win a conference title. And that's the big deal this week is, this is postseason. Big 12 championships this week, and then 2 weeks after that, the NCAA indoors will be in Fayetteville, Arkansas. So get serious right now.
Yeah, very much so. Well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. We always appreciate your insight. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Everybody, we'll see you. Jerry Hill, Baylor Insider. Always great to visit with him. So much great knowledge and information and perspective there. Take a break. Be back. Look ahead. Wrap things up. Share some birthdays with you and more when we come back. John Morris Show presented by the Brazos Landing and Alliance Bank, Central Texas.
For anyone that's in the car buying mode or looking for a car right now or a truck, I would definitely come by Allen Samuels, get to know the people here like I have, how well I'm taking care of the dealership and how well, service and any kind of warranty issues or those sort of things. Because the way they take care of me, it's made me a Ram driver. And so I don't think they'd want to go anywhere else if they came here.
Like Allen Samuels always said, Waco has a lot to offer, and so do we at Allen Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat. Come by, let's be friends.
It's a great meditation sport. It's just yourself. You get out here, feeling the rhythm, feeling the rhyme. It's a good time.
Gives me the opportunity to hang out with the fellas for about 5 hours, and I get some solitude, relaxation, and a great time. Malban Golf.
As life goes on, it settles into patterns. But it doesn't have to go that way. You just have to do one thing. Get out of the house. Get out of your comfort zone. Leave room for the unexpected.
American Tourister.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
For those who want the best, look no further than the Founders Series by Louisiana Grills. If you want the best food, then you need the best grill. Louisiana Grills.
Spring has sprung, and now's a great time to schedule a checkup for your vehicle. As Texas weather changes, it's important to make sure you and your loved ones are safe on the road. Request an appointment online at CompleteCarCareCenter.com today. We're equipped to handle all major and minor repairs on your vehicle. Our experienced technicians can check the health of your tires and inspect your vehicle for any unseen issues. Kish Complete Car Care Center at 5300 Franklin, where we take pride in keeping individuals safe, honestly.
At DeCampley's Italian Ristorante, we are committed to providing an authentic Italian experience. Through exceptional service, delicious food, and a family environment, we want our guests to create memories that they will want to share with their family and friends. Open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, closed on Sundays. Make your reservation today. Check us out on Facebook and at DeCampley's.com.
Back with this final segment, John Morris Show on a Wednesday. Pete Souza warming up in the bullpen. Pete's coming up in just a bit. Always great to trade information with Pete, and appreciate him greatly. All right, here are some birthdays today. I told you earlier this is a big birthday day, Garrett, and it starts with Pat Nunley's birthday today. We talked about that. Happy birthday to Pat. Lori Fogelman's birthday today. So the two basketball color analysts at Baylor, same birthday, February 25th. How about that? So happy birthday to Lori as well. It is Becky Dry Lindsay's birthday. This is Dennis Lindsay's wife, Coach Dry, F.A. Dry's daughter, Becky. So happy birthday to Becky today. It's Michael Woodson's birthday today, Baylor men's tennis coach. Happy birthday to Michael. And Glenn Moore, when he was on with us yesterday, mentioned today is his wife Janice's birthday. Happy birthday to Janice. I think he said yesterday was the day, but she was born in Japan, so the date is the 25th, I think.
Yeah, she celebrates it twice. So she celebrates it yesterday, and then again today is what he said.
American birthday and Japanese birthday, yeah. So we mentioned her yesterday, and glad to do it again today. Happy birthday to Janice Moore. Bruce Davis's birthday. You folks who've been around a while, you remember Bruce, outstanding sprinter and football receiver, number 5 in your program. Bruce Davis, his birthday is today. Jimmy Dixon here in the Waco area. I know a lot of you know him. Dennis Lukacs for Baylor men's tennis. Baylor Athletics Hall of Famer, Dennis Lukacs. Happy birthday to him today as well. Seth Dorsey's birthday. Phil Tran played football at Baylor. So big birthday day, 25th of February. And happy birthday to all those folks. All right, as we wrap things up and move out of here, I kind of hate to end on this somber note, but today is the 1-year anniversary of the date that J.J. Joe passed away. It was February 25th last year. We were doing a basketball game at Cincinnati, and I got a call and then a text. Have you heard about JJ? No. And then come to find out at halftime that he had passed away of a heart attack. And it was 1 year ago today. So just wanted to mention him. Love that guy. He worked with us on the football broadcast for 21 years. Never missed a game, and just sudden tragic heart attack passing. And we remember his wife Lakeisha and his 3 boys, and just a great guy, and left a real void in our hearts with the passing of J.J. Joe, and that was 1 year ago today. All right, thanks to Pat Nunley, who was on with us. Thanks to Jerry Hill, who was on with us today as well. Appreciate Garrett and Brandon behind the scenes. We appreciate you for tuning in. We'll do it again tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. The John Morris Show, presented by Alliance Bank, Central Texas, and the Brazos Landing. Alliance Bank Central Texas understands that banking is about people. From first accounts to business growth, they actively partner with Central Texas businesses and families to help meet their financial goals. A variety of online products and services make banking easy without compromising the personalized banking experiences they are known for. Customer-focused banking isn't just what they do, it's who they are. Alliance Bank Central Texas, serving Central Texas across 7 convenient locations and at alliancebanktexas.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
At DeCampley's Italian Ristorante, we are committed to providing an authentic Italian experience. Through exceptional service, delicious food, and a family environment, we want our guests to create memories that they will want to share with their family and friends. Open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, closed on Sundays. Make your reservation today. Check us out on Facebook and at decampleys.com.
My name is David Maddox, owner of Waco Foundation Repair. I've been in business right at 20 years, incorporated since 2003, and nonstop, very busy business to be in. We stay plenty busy with this good old Central Texas ground that constantly moves and does its thing. If you think you have foundation repair issues, call Waco Foundation Repair today.
Spring has sprung, and now's a great time to schedule a checkup for your vehicle. As Texas weather changes, it's important to make sure you and your loved ones are safe on the road. Request an appointment online at CompleteCarCareCenter.com today. We're equipped to handle all major and minor repairs on your vehicle. Our experienced technicians can check the health of your tires and inspect your vehicle for any unseen issues. Kish Complete Car Care Center at 5300 Franklin, where we take pride in keeping individuals safe honestly.